This episode is presented to you by NFL Sunday Ticket, now on YouTube and YouTube TV. With NFL Sunday Ticket on YouTube and YouTube TV, you can watch your favorite teams' out-of-market Sunday games, plus watch up to 4 games at once with Multiview. Don't miss the race to the playoffs. NFL Sunday Ticket is now just $39 when bundled with YouTube TV, where you get even more football. Visit youtube.com/Spotify offer to sign up now. Lowest price on YouTube TV with base plan. Rest of 2023 season. Terms and embargoes apply. No cancellations.
This episode is brought to you by Google Pixel, the official fan phone of the NBA and WNBA. The new Pixel 8 and Pixel 8 Pro are built different. How? Take the Audio Magic Eraser tool that helps block out distracting crowd noise so your play-by-play commentary sounds crystal clear. The only phone engineered by Google brings out the audio you care about so your videos sound as crisp as they look. Learn more at googlestore.com/Pixel NBA. Audio Magic Eraser requires Google Photos app. May not work on all audio elements.
This episode is brought to you by Reese's Peanut Butter Cups. Some things are just better together, like party playlists and Friday nights, campfires and ghost stories, peanut butter and chocolate. And Reese's Cups are the perfect combination of creamy peanut butter and delicious milk chocolate. So, when you want something sweet, you can't do better than Reese's Peanut Butter Cups. Buy Reese's today wherever candy is sold.
Introducing Royal Caribbean's newest ship, Icon of the Seas, the ultimate family vacation. The ultimate 6 slides, 8 neighborhoods, 0 compromise vacation. The ultimate never done that, can't wait to do it vacation. The ultimate chillin' by a different pool every day of the week vacation. This is the Icon of Vacations. Icon of the Seas, arriving in 2024. Book today. Come seek the Royal Caribbean. Ships Registry, Bahamas.
Anything to shake this mood I'm in. My football team's got me drinking.
Back at it again with the Shades of Blue Soccer Show. Johnny Russell has moved into 3rd all-time leading scoring for Sporting KC. A couple results in a row, and all of a sudden we're looking at the playoff line, boys. How about that? We tried this last night. It was a horrible disaster. The connection wasn't working. But now look at this. Look at this. A day later, I'm feeling way better about this win. Robert, are you doing better about this as well?
Well, you must be feeling great about this win. That was a draw, but
that's what a draw feels like, a win these days.
Yeah. I mean, I just, keep looking at that goal, and I looked at it more today when I came home, and we'll talk about it later, but that goal just can't happen. But, we have only dropped 1 in the last 6, I think it is. So definitely progress.
You had to mention the conceded goal right off the bat, didn't you?
Hey man,
trying to
reality.
Be positive. You had to bring it in. Yes, that goal has to go. That's 2 games in a row, I believe, that they've done a early second half concession.
52 seconds this time.
Yeah, not a good trend. Voloder on that one was kind of caught in no man's land, but I'm not going to put too much blame on him. It just looked bad. When a player scores a header without even moving, they're just standing there and wide open. It looked really bad, but I still think Voloder's been playing quite well this year. I'm pleased with his progress.
Do you want to hear my breakdown now or no?
I would like to hear it. You brought it up. I feel like I'd like to know what happened.
Deep in the negative already. Then we'll end on the high note here. Let's talk about what's wrong with the team.
All right. So, okay. Roger Espinoza is tracking Yule as the play develops. Okay. At some point, Roger gets attracted toward the ball. The ball's on the wing. Cam Duke picks up Yule. Okay. And then as Yule drifts toward the box, neither of them pick it up. But here are Cameron Duke behind the play and Logan Ndenbe watching the whole thing happen and apparently doing nothing about it. I don't know if they communicated or not. We have 5 to 6 guys, depending if you count Duke, because he's slightly out of the box. In our box, they have 2. Okay. Robbie is actually marking someone more than anybody is. Yeah, he's got Yule behind him, but there's Ndenbe and Duke just watching Yule.
Yeah.
So I say Robbie is least culpable in this situation.
Yeah, there was a guy in front of him that I think he was
right.
He was like marking, and then when the ball was coming in, he just kind of back seeing the ball coming in. So yeah, I think he was. Yeah, I'm not pointing too much of a finger at him. I think he lost that starting spot in the last game because of a mistake or two, but I don't think I can pin this one on him there.
I think he lost his starting spot because he got a red card, right?
Voloder did?
Yeah, he was sitting out, and that's why Fontes started, and then got to choke slam Diego Rubio.
Well, no, I'm saying the week before that game when Fontes started, I'm saying the game before that, Voloder was on the hook for a couple of those goals in the absolute beatdown against Portland.
That's fair. He had one of his worst games, as probably many of the players did in a 7-2 loss.
Chad, are we calling that a choke slam? Because I don't feel like good old Jim Ross is like, by God, he got him, he killed him, he broke him in half. Yeah, like that. I wouldn't call it a choke slam.
Yeah, so it was like an aggressive hands to the throat, and then Rubio flops like he'd been shot from a sniper rifle. So
yeah, what was Fontes doing? Just momentarily absolutely lost his mind and how to behave as a human being.
Hey man,
literally right in front of the referee, though. Like, it's the craziest thing. Like, it wasn't even like secretive. And then he was mad for Rubio going down so easy. I don't know.
I see people do things in these almost fights and stuff all the time where it's like, that would not occur to me to do. Like the biting and the spitting. How does someone even think to do that?
Cody.
Yes, I brought up Luis Suarez.
If you had Suarez's teeth, you wouldn't bite people.
But no, it's just the double-fisted choke. That's never occurred to me to do to someone I was upset with. A push to the chest, yeah, and you get away with it. But what went through his mind there just momentarily? I don't understand it.
Well, clearly he's talking to the ref saying, ref, this dude right here all game flopping makes me want to choke him. And then he just lost his mind and he did choke him. So
I don't think that was far off. It looked like he was acting something out.
Like miming it for him.
He's like, I could choke this man. There it is. They should rescind the red card. That's where I stand. He's not going to get an extra game. He's going to get it rescinded.
I hated him when he was my teammate. No.
Okay, so we've covered the negative from that game, I think.
Is that okay? That's the only negative. Okay.
Yeah, that's why I asked that as a question, because I know there's going to be a lot more. But
so you don't think the way they played was negative? Like, I mean, they played kind of negative soccer. Actually, ever since
Chad, good
David, since David made that point that they should start playing ugly soccer, I kind of think PV listens to Shades of Blue soccer show. I don't know. I'm just throwing it out there.
In our episode last night that just didn't work because of a connection. I gave David props for this. Yeah, in that episode we did, asking about what can this team do to improve or to show they still care, and we landed on adapt to the players that we have and play to our strengths. And the last two games they have made a change. They didn't stick with the 4-3-3 and throw Kyrie Shelton out there, and look at that, 2 results in a row.
Well, so our listeners really want to know how the sausage gets made. We actually recorded a midweek podcast also that will not see the light of day because Cody was salty that he wasn't on it. His kickball team was getting murdered. Oh yeah. So Cody
on it. How is it
midweek? Cody was off getting just pummeled in kickball and was unwilling to send me the audio. So you didn't know that your football team had you drinking. So we have a recorded pod that will never see the light of day. What was the secret cut from Superman, the Donner cut or whatever, the Richard Donner cut. But anyway, I asked that. I said, I know that some people from the club listen to this podcast, but is it possible that PV listens because we're now playing Bunker and Counter? And that's what I suggested. And Thad very, very quickly confirmed that Peter Vermes did, in fact, not listen to our show.
He does, in fact, not. That's an easy one right there. Patrick, maybe. Patrick listens to the interviews because he sets those up. So hi, Patrick. I hope you're listening.
Yeah, that interview or that pod will be released on our box set.
That's right.
Posthumously.
Yeah. Chad listens.
Yeah, that's true. I listen. I don't. Oh, you mean other Chad Reynolds?
Yeah. Well, okay. This leads.
How self-important are you, Chad Smith?
This got brought up today.
Another unintentional good segue there from Chad. Thank you for that. Go ahead.
This brings up an excellent point. So Cody sent this to me today on the Twitters. Aston Villa signed
some new player. I don't know.
Some new player. But in the background of the photo where they're all posed together, like fake signing this contract, is this beautiful stained glass. With the crest. And somebody tweeted at Chad Reynolds asking for Sporting KC to make stained glass.
Yeah, no, Chad sent out the request for Sporting KC stained glass. So look at that. The bandwagon is building. I like this.
As long as it's got a Catalonian in it, we're good.
Stained glass in the Catalonian cafe, the Catalan cafe. Okay, so
all right, we have veered away, have we not?
Well, that's the show I like, you know.
I know. Oh, by the way, before we go any further, Cody, happy freaking congratulations to Man City. You know, Cody's a Premier League team.
Yeah,
Liverpool is my Premier League team. I don't know if it's anybody else's.
Oh wow! So that
hey, congratulations! What did you do to celebrate, Cody?
I'm not gonna lie. I have not genuinely just. I screamed. I was screaming. I genuinely pissed off my two roommates who were hungover and trying to sleep at like noon. But I was absolutely screaming. I have not done that as a fan. Honestly, I think doing this a little bit with the Blue Testament can sometimes take away a bit of the fandom, or the magic can be taken away a little bit. But oh my gosh, that they were down 2 goals and scored 3 goals in like a 5-minute span, and I was just jumping. I was on my bed. I was throwing things. I was absolutely screaming my head off. It was so much fun. I was just genuinely a soccer fan again. And I love this sport. I love it.
Meanwhile, I may send the Villa goalkeeper a nasty postcard about, what was that, second goal near post that he let in? A couple of 2 steps too far. It's like he couldn't get back. It's like, damn it.
Well, if you would have been watching the Liverpool game then, but that keeper actually made a bunch of really good saves that game to bail them out. It was just once City saw that first goal go in, they were like, oh yeah, we're really good at this. And there was no looking back.
Can we talk about a league where the owners are still problematic, Robert Kraft, but not massive petrol states? We're not backed by the Saudis and the Qataris and, your team's just being bought by blood money.
You can't pick on Man City for that anymore because Newcastle is the latest target for that.
Oh, I don't like them either, but let's talk about MLS. Can we play a game?
Talk about PSG for a second and that ridiculous contract. My goodness.
Yeah, well, again, when you're printing money, you can do whatever you want. But okay, I've got a game for us to play. Okay, we're gonna go around, and of course, I'm not playing because I created the game and I know the answers. But I would like for you guys to name me last year's Western Conference playoff teams. Jesus. And we're gonna start with teams. Playoff teams from the Western Conference last year. We're going to start with Cody.
Chad's already
because I want no cheating. Everybody put their hands up. This is an audio medium, but we're on a Zoom.
I'm looking for a pen. Right
Robert is the only one whose hands are not in the air.
He's Googling.
I'm just looking for a pen to write them down.
Okay, so we're going to start with Cody because he needs the most help and he gets the layup. So Cody, name me a Western Conference playoff team.
The Seattle Sounders.
The Seattle Sounders did, in fact, make the playoffs last year. Do you happen to know what place they are in this year?
Let's see. I have seen them lose a couple since the CCL. Oh, they're probably right around that playoff line, like 6th or 7th.
They are in 12th.
Oh.
They are right above us. They are 1 point. Or no, they're tied on point. They're level on points with us at 13. Now, we've played 3 extra games, but even if you adjust for points per game, they are still in 10th. Okay. Robert, going to you. Seattle's off the board. Name a Western Conference playoff team from 2021.
Well, let's start with the Vancouver Whitecaps.
Vancouver Whitecaps did in fact make the playoffs last year. They are currently in 14th place, last place in the West. No, well, I can speed it up. 11 points from 12 games. They are in last, even adjusted for points per game. Chad.
Can I just say Sporting Kansas City?
No. Well, fine. We're
Next to last. But I'll take
terrible.
you mean to take a second one here? I can take
Yes,
another
please.
one. Real Salt Lake.
Hey, Real Salt Lake. They suck. It's official. Even though they are currently winning, they're at 22 points. They're fourth in the West.
Portland Timbers.
Portland Timbers made it to MLS Cup last year, are in 10th in the West. They are 2 points above Sporting KC.
Colorado Rapids.
Colorado Rapids last year won the West. They are in 8th place. They are 5 points above Sporting KC, but outside the playoffs.
So the trend you're developing here is a complete shift in the Western powers of the Western Conference.
It's a long season, and a lot of this, a lot of these teams are going to go up and down. LAFC is pretty legit. Dallas has had a good start. Austin's had a good start, but who knows how legit some of these teams are. Where you
have another one?
Oh, I was not confident what the last team was. I was thinking maybe Dallas was a playoff team.
No,
or Minnesota.
no Texas, no California.
Minnesota.
Texas.
Minnesota, 9th place, 18 points. So Colorado, Minnesota, Portland, Seattle, Kansas City, and Vancouver all below the playoff line.
Fun game.
Very good. Very good.
Unless you're a fan of those teams, yeah.
So look, we were all panicking, fire everyone, complete rebuild process. And look at that. We might still make the playoffs.
Going back to an article I wrote a number of years ago, how many of those are CCL teams?
Seattle. Oh, Colorado was in the CCL, right?
Colorado and Seattle.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a valid.
Vancouver not in the CCL?
Wasn't
they the Canadian champions?
Wasn't it Montreal?
Was it? Okay.
I think it was Montreal. And Montreal, by the way, first in the East, or at least they were. And I don't know about what happened this weekend. Now they fell down.
They're in 4th.
In that.
Yeah, that was quick fall. They were first for a second.
NYCFC and CCL, they are in 2nd place.
Yeah.
And New England, last year's Supporter Shield winner, 9th place.
Okay. Sporting Kansas City, back to. We have, I think tomorrow, Thad and I are going to interview Cam Duke, who that goal, I'm giving all credit to Cam Duke on that. Yes, I like the chip over the top from Roger, but he got an audible gasp from me on the first touch of that play to move it around the keeper there. That was wonderful.
Yes, Cody, it was. And then the awareness to, even after that touch and the encounter with the goalkeeper, the awareness to cut it back for Johnny, even better, arguably.
Yeah, and Espinoza, can't forget him. He's the one that put that ball over the top for Duke. I mean, Duke was making the run, though. That's been the complaint of a lot of people this year, is that no one's making these off-the-ball runs. A lot of standing around at times.
Yeah, and he's not even a winger.
Well, if you look where he was making the run from, he was kind of running from almost the midfield. It's like where he's used to being. He kept being inside a lot. He was having trouble keeping his width, I would say.
But yeah, Roger deserves some credit on that play. He's been getting a lot of hate this year, so well done on him. And
he played like a guy who actually was rested properly for his age.
That's right.
That's kind of crazy.
That's what happens when you don't have to run him out there every week.
He was crazy pissed off that he got taken off so early too. Did you see how mad he was when they subbed him out?
I thought I saw that too, and I was like, okay, is that because he's getting taken off or what?
I think it's because he was on that yellow, and he committed another foul right after. And I don't think the ref was going to warn him, because this ref wasn't calling anything besides the yellow that he gave to Roger. But he got like mass confronted for I don't know if they thought he elbowed the guy or what, but he like bumped into that guy and fouled him. So I didn't think the second foul was yellow. I'm not even, maybe the first foul was a yellow, but nothing else was a yellow to that point. So it's hard to know.
Well, going back to Duke, I mean, the combinations that him and Johnny played all night, I thought were impressive. Kind of a highlight of the match for me.
Yeah, Duke looked really good in that spot. He kind of came alive in this game, and he has been doing better. Felipe Hernandez also looked better. looks like he's gaining some confidence, I think, right?
Gaining some maturity too on
maybe
what the game needs in the moment, things like that. So that's a good sign.
Yeah, that is a good sign. I have been not hard on not hard on the young guys.
Whoa.
Are you gonna edit that out?
I haven't, but of course not. No, this is the middle of the podcast. I'll never find it. I could never find it out. No, I haven't been hard on them this show, but they have kind of disappointed me up until this point. We needed these young guys, to be better this year, to take maybe a bigger leap forward that they haven't. But yeah, maybe as the team is settling in here and they're getting more minutes, it looks like they're finding themselves a bit.
Reps, man, reps.
Yeah. And it also didn't help that the team itself was not doing well either, and they weren't surrounded by, people who were playing with confidence themselves even.
Yeah, you're gonna make those mistakes, but I think you got to put them out there to learn and get better. And if nothing happens this year and they like creep towards the line and don't make the playoffs, but there's like good progress from guys like Hernandez and Duke, it's like it kind of makes up a little bit for what felt like a lost season, especially early on. But hey, it's early and they're not too far back from the playoff line.
Well, and not even just those guys, but the new young guys, the U22 guys that they've brought in, Voloder, Jonis, and
your guy, Mr. Cavs.
Mr. Cav. Yeah, those three. I saw some hate on Peter Vermes about him, kind of clinging to old players and not being able to usher young players into maturity, and maybe he's being left behind in this league. But man, those are three U22 signings that I think have all shown plenty of promise. And I have the impression that Jonis is like only just getting going. I think once he figures out, the league a bit more, I think he's going to be really dangerous.
I would agree with that. I think he's very creative and exciting, and I think that's the stuff that everybody sees and wants to see more of him. But then I've been trying to make a conscious effort to watch him move or not move off the ball since Peter said that comment. And it was noticeable, I thought, against San Jose. Like, he had to sub on for Roger and they pushed Remy back to the midfield. And he was having trouble getting into the defensive position that he was supposed to be in. And then when he didn't have the ball, like Russell and Duke would be attacking. And I'm like, why aren't you going? He's just like lagging behind. It looked like he was tired, but he's played the least of any of them. So it didn't make any sense to me. So I could kind of see a little bit of what Peter was saying. And I'd be interested to see if he learned some lessons and, improves on that.
Yeah. Tired or just genuinely still learning how much is required in this system and things like that. So, I think he's getting there, but that's something that I think people have, I don't hear a lot of talk about this year. These three young signings that are showing a lot of promise. But yeah, I was always talking about the young guys that are progressing. I guess it looks like the two to focus on is Cam Duke and Felipe Hernandez. They seem to be the ones that he's leaning on the most. Jake Davis is getting a little bit of time. We kind of like Jake Davis on this, but I'm not sure how I've felt about his couple minutes of he would bring him on for stoppage time, I think, is where he was getting his reps.
Well, one thing I'll say, Cam and Felipe, and Vermes is getting some hate for our academy not producing more top end talent that are getting sold abroad, more guys like Busio. But your academy doesn't need to, right? Having a Busio is great. It helps fund investment in other players. That's how we were able to buy our U22 guys. But the ability to produce squad rotation players and potential starters like Duke and Felipe is huge, right? Felipe Hernandez doesn't ever have to be sold abroad for $2 million for him to be a successful academy graduate. If he's a solid contributor to the team, whether he's in the starting lineup or he's coming off the bench or some combination thereof, that's a huge benefit to the team because we didn't have to pay a fee for him. He's on lower wages. And if he blossoms into a star, that's great. That's just the icing on top.
This episode is brought to you by State Farm. You might say all kinds of stuff when things go wrong, but these are the words you really need to remember. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. They've got options to fit your unique insurance needs, meaning you can talk to your agent to choose the coverage you need. Have coverage options to protect the things you value most. File a claim right on the State Farm mobile app and even reach a real person when you need to talk to someone. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Houston Dynamo on Wednesday. We didn't get any word that Fontas or Shallowy got an extra suspension. So unless that comes tomorrow, I'm expecting they're gonna be back. Oh wait, will Shallowy?
It's Open Cup. It's Open Cup anyway.
Oh yeah, that's right. So yeah, that doesn't matter anyway. And Shallowy will be here. He's not gone for Hungarian national team yet.
And I imagine Shelton might be, of all the guys out, closest to coming back. And it seems like Zuzi's getting closer too. So who knows?
Yeah, a lot of guys moved from out to questionable. Is Samant Marine, even though he went on to say that he wasn't really available this weekend, he was listed as questionable on the report. And then Zuzi's been questionable for a couple of games. So
the report has come out this week already? It came out today?
No, that was for the last game, for Sunday's game.
I was gonna say, we don't know about Vojnovic either, right?
Correct. But he was questionable on first Sunday as well, even though he didn't, make the 18. So 20. I guess it's 20 now, not 18.
Okay. Any final thoughts here, gentlemen?
Yeah, can we take a moment and just say, God bless Ben Sweat? Here's the reason I say God bless Ben Sweat. Because he's had to play right back. He's played left back. Each position, other teams have picked on him and picked on him. I mean, Cade Cowell ripped him to shreds last night. He might have to play center back if these injuries and suspensions continue. Who knows? But God bless Ben Sweat.
So you don't mean like, oh, God bless this man. You mean like, right. oh, God bless your heart.
It's called pity.
That's an entirely different statement. Oh man, I heard after the game, Ali called him Benny. I'm not a fan of that. There's only one Benny, right?
Exactly.
Agreed.
Exactly. But Ben's been decent on the ball. It's just defensively, it's been rough.
I think for me, he just takes too many touches. You're in like a precarious position. Yeah, it just quicker, get it out. Sometimes just clear it. Like he'll like take some touches, or he'll miss the early pass, like when he's got Shallowy ahead of him when he was playing on the left, or he had Russell ahead of him on the right. The last game before this game, obviously, who knows what that formation was. I can't blame him for Remy not playing Remy through, because he was basically just taking balls and recycling them around. And I'm pretty sure that was what he was told to do, is like, don't lose it, don't turn it over, don't make mistakes, and be defensively sound.
I will say, yes. I think this team is always pretty poor at crossing, and his crosses seem to be on the dangerous side, at least on this team's spectrum. It still nothing ever comes of them, but like they seem more dangerous than what we're used to seeing.
And he has some strong moments on the ball at times. It's like, oh, okay, Ben, there you go.
And we pick on him a little bit, and I feel like he's had a kind of a poor season so far, but he is, again, coming off of a disastrous knee injury, and these are still only his first games back. So he's on a 2-year guaranteed deal. So let's hope he figures something out and is a regular, at least a rotational piece to rest some other guys that you don't have to be worried about putting in the game.
See, look at that. We can never be too mean to anyone.
David, would you have thoughts?
I'm just happy he's playing above Grimzusi right now.
Of course.
Wow. He always finds a way to hate on Grimzusi.
Well, you guys said we're being too nice to people. I thought this was the bit. Speaking of bits, Cody, can I get your top 3 calf power rankings of the week?
And Denbei is always at the top. Kyrie Sheldon without even playing. Without even playing, Kyrie Sheldon makes the list, because if you didn't see him on Instagram in that photo shoot, the Cavs were working. He gets on the list without even playing the game.
Okay, I think the criteria here is a little jacked up. I think Cody has one criteria, David has another.
I think the joy of it is the rules can change every time.
Is that what it is?
There's no rules.
I think Cody's going by actual calf size here,
No, not size. Definition is important.
Definition. Okay. All right. Okay, good.
It's like whose line? The rules are made up and the points don't matter. So, okay. So we've got Ndenbe followed by Kyrie, who didn't play. Give me one more.
And who else has good calves on this team? Remy Voltaire is a physically fit. He's a good physical specimen.
He's solid,
He's
isn't he?
sturdy. There you go. Solid. Yes, he's very sturdy. He's got some trunks on those legs.
I believe they said that he leads the league in miles covered.
Yeah.
That's good for your calves.
He's carrying trunks too. Impressive. Okay.
All right, David, are you gonna give your rankings, David?
Now that Cody's here, they're not my calves to judge.
I'm the authority on calves, huh?
You're the enthusiast.
I just like rating body parts. I like putting people on a scale and rating them. I'm very vain.
Yeah, you and Zuckerberg.
Yeah, I was gonna say, isn't that how Facebook started?
He turned his into a lot of money. I'm just making fun of people on a podcast.
Those 1 cent per click ads that we're getting, right?
Now, this may be awkward, and that's okay, because I don't mind being awkward. And maybe Chad and Cody, being younger, will have a better reference than I. But David, this whole podcast with your mustache, your beard, the angle the camera's at, you're reminding me of McCartney circa Let It Be, when he had his beard. You remind me of McCartney, man.
The last several minutes of this podcast, David has just been very villainously stroking his beard and his mustache for some reason.
I just watched is it Death on the Nile?
I was disappointed.
Yes.
It was not great, but I want a mustache like Hercule Poirot.
No, you do not.
Oh, that thing is glorious.
Yeah, I was disappointed in that movie. The first one of those was very good. On the
Murder in the Orient Express, that one?
That was very good. So I was into this one, but it kind of let me down.
Yeah, I'm trying to, while I was listening to Cody talk about calves, I was trying to work this into like a Wario situation, and it's not quite getting there.
All right, who wrote both of those books those movies are based on?
Agatha Christie.
Very good. Thank you.
I actually knew that one too.
Okay.
Good job. Yes, good podcast. We got some movie talk in. All right.
Okay, so game on Wednesday. It's Open Cup. Cody, what do you think? What's your prediction?
I feel pretty good about it. Whatever. I think it's separate from MLS play in our heads, and I feel very good about this. So let's say 3-1.
Sporting.
Yeah.
Who coaches Houston, by the way?
Exactly. That's my point.
Paulo Nagamura.
Chad, prediction?
Well, I mean, Houston is 0-1 this year in Children's Mercy Park against a bad team, but I have this like bad feeling that Sporting's going to put out
that just trash style where they're just bunkering 10 in front of the goal. Are they still doing that? Does anyone know?
I think off and on, as the situation calls for it.
Because what does that happen if we're playing like that now? My God, what happens?
No, you have the ball.
Oh man, this will be interesting.
Yeah. But I do have this like sneaking feeling like there's all these injuries. Remember the Lyon game last year where Peter was like, hey, this game is jammed in the middle of this awful stretch and we're so beat up, and I had to put the kids out there. Basically, he didn't say it that way, but essentially. And I have this feeling like, do you keep pushing Russell, who's dealing with the knee and hamstring issue? Shelton's been out. Voinovich is out. Like all these guys have been out. Like I could see them going, hey, you know what? We played the kids last game and brought these guys in the 60th minute and it worked. Maybe we could try it again. But if it's off the rails by then, they just don't try it.
I think Russell will start the game on the bench because you can use Shallowy. You got to burn Shallowy because he's gone after this.
Yeah.
I'm optimistic about Voinovich. And then also maybe Kyrie was progressing too. Or
Giannis will start?
Yeah, or Giannis, or maybe I would rather Giannis, but Vermes likes to roll with the hot hand, and maybe he liked what Cam Duke was doing.
Yeah. No, I think with Nagamura thinking the Open Cup and knowing it's important with his playing experience, etc., he's going to have Houston coming out, and they've got some strong attackers, assuming they start. And so that makes me a little afeared. I'm saying it goes into overtime.
Oh man, that would be so shitty for this team right now.
We've got Vancouver on the weekend after that.
Last place. Worse than us.
Last place, Vancouver at CMP. Houston has to go to Salt Lake. Play Salt Lake at the Riot. So I'm sure there will be some rotation in there, having to travel and play at altitude.
I'm feeling good. 2 results in a row. I feel very good about this.
Can't be just a result at this point. It's got to be a win or go home, right, on Wednesday.
Yes,
sir.
U.S. Open Cup. We don't mess around. U.S. Open Cup.
Undefeated since 2015 in the Open Cup. At home.
At home. Wow.
Thank you
Great
for the
stat.
at home. Yes.
Great.
Yeah, I had to add the at home. Obviously, we have not won every Open Cup since 2015. So there was just that one.
Okay, very well done. All right, go Sporting.
Don't seem so tough. And 3 own goals ain't all that rough. Our skipper has just been sent off. Supporters strong have all gone soft. My football team's got me drinking. My football team's got me drinking. My football team's got me drinking. Give me beer or whiskey, wine or gin. Anything to shake this mood I'm in. My football team's got me drinking. My football team's got me drinking. My football team's got me drinking.